Welcome back, comrades. This is Gaming with Austin. Of the Utopian Community series. You know, it doesn't matter if you take good care of your computer or not. It's gonna slow down, regardless of what you do. You can only do so much to keep it fast. Plot of some people cannot help their appetite at all. Like, some overweight people cannot help with it. Like those with Prader-Willi syndrome. And one fact about me, I was checked for Prader-Willi syndrome. And I tested negative for it. And if left untreated, let's talk about some diseases out there cause obesity. Like, sometimes uncontrollable weight gain is a symptom of that disease, of certain genetic disorders. Sometimes it affects your thyroid. Imagine what it would be like if there was a genetic disorder in which one of the hallmarks of it was an uncontrollably huge appetite, and appetite suppressants only made that genetic disorder worse, and it also slowed down their metabolism too. The best thing you can do is let it run its course. For some diseases, appetite suppressants will only make it worse. Some people simply cannot help it. Like, I used to have a stepmother who believed that all obesity is preventable. Truth is, it's not entirely preventable. Some people cannot help it, no matter how much exercise they get. My former stepmom blamed my obesity on eating so much, which is not entirely true. And lack of exercise. It's not just that. Some of it has to do with the medicine I was on when I was younger. Clonidine known to cause people to have develop a huge appetite. Testosterone does the same thing too. I was tested for Prader-Willi syndrome when I was younger, actually. Truth is, I tested negative for it. Because 6 years ago, I looked like a very different person. Like compared to 6 years ago, I look like a very different person now. One of the hallmarks of lipodystrophy is that you'd have to eat a lot to maintain a healthy fat level. What caused me to eat so much in middle school? Certain medications can cause weight gain. Like I mentioned in my earlier videos, mirtazapine, aka Remeron. It's supposed to treat your autism, but instead it turns you into a fat kid. Like, it turns you into an overweight kid. For me, I'm pretty muscular now. What causes me to go on a bench for junk food sometimes? A lot of it has to do with my testosterone. Nowadays, it's my testosterone that has an effect on my appetite. Some people cannot help it, like with the obesity. Some of the people that are obese simply cannot help it. They were born, some of them were born like that. Like they had a high birth weight. Not all obesity is preventable. Truth is, with obesity, certain medications can put you at risk for it. The only way to reduce your risk is to get off that prescription drug. The reason I was gaining so much weight throughout childhood is that I was still growing taller. It's normal to gain weight when you're, like during your childhood years. That's normal. One thing you can do to help reduce your risk of obesity is what if, like, gastric bypass surgery. But, you know, the problem is your body's trying to keep you from losing weight. Because your body says weight loss is unhealthy for you. Too much weight loss is bad for you. Especially if you lose so much weight in a short period of time. I used to weigh 260 pounds. Actually. The real culprit to my obesity was I was chock full of medicine. Like, was the medication I was on. Some people simply cannot help it. Remeron is an appetite stimulant, aka mirtazapine. Another one, clonidine. I was on both of those, but not at the same time. I was on mirtazapine when I was younger. Later I was put on clonidine for my ADHD, which caused me to gain so much weight, too. If doctors put me on testosterone, I'd be huge. When I was pulled off of clonidine, my weight started to stagnate for a while. Then I started to lose weight. The reason why you might see children eat so much sugar at once is that they have the greater... It's not because of marketing. It's a physiological drive. It's driven by their physiological need to eat more. But adults don't need as much sugar as children. Food addiction's not just psychological, it's also physiological. Because back in the Stone Age, during times of abundance, we went on a feast. The ones with the greatest need to eat were the ones that suffered unless they competed over it. Competition's only necessary if you have the greater need to eat. There are others with the same need to eat as you, if they have the greater need to eat. Ironically, though, if we all went vegetarian, we wouldn't be using as much land. Some people believe that people will become mentally ill if they don't eat raw meat. This is not true. What is true is, if you become too greedy, you're more likely to suffer health problems. Like, because some of the rich people become overweight, too. Like, they spend so much money on food that they become overweight. Prader-Willi syndrome, it's not something you acquire, it's something you're born with. In that disorder, their baby's urge to eat a lot starts before, like, when they're just born. The reason why the baby lowers a mother's blood sugar is the mother's not the only one that needs nutrients. The baby needs nutrients too. Because maternal malnutrition is bad for both the mother and the baby. If you have the greater need to eat, everybody got paid the same. You got paid the same as everybody else, while you had the greatest need to eat to maintain a healthy metabolism. It's kind of unfair for those with the greatest need to eat. Physiologically, it's unfair. Some disorders don't just have obesity as one of their symptoms of it. Some of it can be physical muscle weakness and bone weakness too. Weight gain is one of the signs that you recently, quitting smoking. It's normal for quitters to gain weight at first when it goes to quitting smoking. Sometimes your body simply gives up when it goes to trying to lose weight. Your body simply gives up. goes to food rations, those with greater needs each should be given a higher food ration. Because your body's most utmost importance is survival. Which is why when you starve yourself, your body eats its organs up in a very specific order. Starting with your adipose tissue. It does it to where the brain is the very last organ to eat itself up. Because your brain is actually, believe it or not, the brain is the most vital organ in your body. Because your brain tells all the organs what to do. Your brain has to tell you when you have, your brain tells you when you have to eat. Your brain tells you when you have to have water. Without it, you're dead. Which is why you should never try to perform CPR on someone who's been beheaded. It's okay to behead a bunch of zombies. If you're in a zombie apocalypse. It's not right to put your cat on a vegetarian diet because cats cannot go vegetarian. They must eat meat. And going vegan can actually help lower your cholesterol. When niggas trying to lose weight, basically everything failed. With the exception of going on a very strict diet. Basically, I had to follow a very strict diet to lose weight. It was my choice. There are factors of obesity you simply cannot control. If your parents are overweight or obese, you're more likely to be obese. Sometimes it's how you're built that is the driving factor to your obesity. Those who are really tall have to be overweight just to maintain a healthy build. Just to maintain a healthy metabolism per pound of body weight. Look. Going vegan can actually lower your cholesterol big time. Even with the presence of saturated fats. But trans fats, it's basically nothing but jagged edges. With children, their growing bodies prefer energy-dense foods to help sustain their growing bodies. Which is why I see it as kind of wrong to deprive your child access to sugar. Because physiologically, they need it. They need it. One thing PETA is trying to do is they're trying to get rid of every feral cat. It is bad for the ecosystem. It can cause an ecosystem collapse. The song that was featured in Pontius the Barbarian and Jackass 3D was called it's called Legacy of Blood by Internal Corrosion. If you eat nothing but meat, you're gonna waste away pretty quickly. Basically, it's the same as starving yourself. You know, trying to get your child to a healthy weight. For a growing child, if you catch it early on in their life, you can just let them grow into their weight. But if they have a thyroid issue, their weight will grow with their height. The reason why it's so hard to lose weight is, biologically speaking, those with larger fat reserves have the greater chance of surviving a famine. Fat shaming is not as effective as you think in trying to get people to lose weight. In fact, it can drive people into gaining more weight, ironically enough. Ironically, though. If your child has a huge appetite and they're healthy, surprisingly though, that is normal. It's actually normal for children to have a huge appetite. especially if they're going through a growth spurt. Anyways, this is it for this video. Don't forget to leave a like if you like this video, dislike if you disliked it, subscribe for more, share this with your comrades on social media. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked this video, dislike if you disliked it, subscribe for more. As always, stay tuned and peace out.